It's a boring time in the VeVe market these days, but are we on the brink of something big? What could happen in the future that could set this market on fire? Let's talk about it. What's up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And tonight, I wanted to shoot a special video to talk about some things that came up in the comment section of my previous video for the market update. I've got my hot coffee ready, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to just have a little chit chat and discussion based on some of these great comments that you, my awesome crypto pro community members, have posted on that last video. So let's start out with the first comment that was made by Benoit Charnay en français. Is that how you say it? Charnay? Ben for short. Ben made an excellent comment. He brought up some really good things. And basically what he said was, during this hard time when the market goes down for weeks, you have a lot of other YouTubers that do videos on other projects outside of VeVe. And it's kind of discouraging not to keep the focus on VeVe and continue to look at the VeVe market. And he was thanking me for staying with VeVe no matter what, even while the market is down, and sharing my vision and my insight of what I see that's going on. All right, now this is what I said back to him. I said that the people who pay attention to the VeVe market on a daily basis during the worst times, when the market is down, when it's the most boring time, when we see prices staying stuck at the floor or creeping down on a daily basis, this is when you're going to gain the most knowledge and valuable information about the insights on these individual NFT items that you track that are your favorites. So if you're sleeping on the app right now because prices are down and you're not paying any attention, you're not going to be the first one to know when this market changes. And you also miss out on the opportunity to understand the characteristics of each item as far as what things influence the price action, or which ones have the greatest future price potential because they might move more on smaller bits of news or changes or features that get added to the app. So that's why I pretty much check prices multiple times per day. I'm on the app every day. I'm watching the other content creators on a daily basis. All of the people that you see in the links of my description, I watch all of their videos. I even listen to the long ones, like the real Randy Chavez. Great videos. Sometimes they can be an hour or two, but they're chock full of information that gives you insight. And when you hear from people that are major bag holders and they're still positive and bullish about the future, that lets you know that, hey, we probably got our hands on something that is not going to go away. And then also, every single day, we're in the Crypto Pro VeVe discussion group talking about what's happening on the app. And we also have a side group for the other NFT platforms where we discuss Hero, we discuss Recur. And what it all boils down to for me is that I don't have the time to do the deep dive on the other platforms. And that's why I started the other group, because I have help from some of the other great members that keep me informed of what's going on with the other platforms while I focus on what's happening with VeVe. So that's why I'm going to continue to provide content and updates and let you know my thoughts about the market fluctuations and what's going on. So excellent comment, Ben. Let's see. Now, the next comment was by Damien, and he mentioned that the next time we see a big drop, we're going to see a big dip in market prices. And he thinks it'll be down until we get more collectors on the app, and that VeVe needs to catch fire worldwide to help bring in new money and soak up all of the saturated items for sale in the marketplace, because there are too many items and not enough real accounts. Now, what I said to him was, that's a great comment, and I would not worry so much about that for two reasons. Reason number one is, when we see the big drops happen, what I pay attention to is the recovery, the rebound. Now, during the distribution phase, when you have a major drop that comes out and you have a gem squeeze, prices take an immediate dive and then they languish and stay low and barely start to crawl back up. But when times are doing better, when we're in, say, the accumulation, consolidation, or the markup phase, that's where the market cycle hits the peak, you have a major drop and you get a V-shaped recovery where prices will steeply drop, but then an hour after that drop, you notice that we rebound to where we were before or even higher. So I have been noticing on all of these recent big drops that we are recovering more so in a V-shaped pattern and not languishing down at the bottom. So we're continuing to hold those floor values, dip down and come right back, snapping back to those floor values of where we were before the drop. Now, as far as new users and the saturation of items that are on the marketplace that are not being sold, I'm okay with that because last year, this time, we know what happened if you were a part of this community last year. When we had that big influx of users, we had several app crashes. We had drop day disasters. We had shutdowns of the market. There were so many bugs that were being reported. It was just bananas. Now, granted, we were in the beta phase. I think we're still in the beta phase technically because they're not advertising. They're not marketing right now. But to have a manageable number of users right now is a good thing because it gives them time to allow the developers to make the improvements on the app and also to strategize on how to handle problems as they come up. The biggest one is the bots. So they're trying to fight this bot issue, and it's a battle that has not gone away yet because the botters, the cheaters, the people who don't have any morals and don't care about stealing from other people, yes, they are stealing. They are sitting back because right now it's not very profitable for them. They've wrecked the market. The VeVe team responded. They've pulled back, but they're waiting for the next big drop, and they're going to be back in full force. But while we have such low numbers, this gives us a chance to allow the VeVe team to maybe come up with a better plan and study the activity of the cheaters. Maybe they need to hire one of these cheaters, just like the CIA and the FBI does when they bust someone for, say, the internet hackers. They make the best CIA and FBI agents because they know how to hack from the bad guy's perspective and not from the good guy's perspective. So maybe the VeVe team needs to hire out one of the botters who can tell them the ins and outs, because right now they're way ahead of the VeVe team. They're way ahead of them. They're rank amateurs. Our people are rank amateurs in comparison to these botters that want to cheat. So while we have these low numbers, it gives us a chance to catch up and make those improvements before they start to market. Because once they start a marketing campaign, we're going to get bombarded with users. Now, can you imagine what is going to happen when VeVe becomes a household name? It's going to be absolutely crazy. Okay, so on to the next comment. That was a great comment. I can't remember who it was that mentioned this. Actually, it was also Damien was asking about the 2099 Mighty Marvel Spider-Man and whether or not I think that it's got a strong future value. I would say yes. Now, it's out of my price range right now. I don't have the 900 gems to come up with to buy one, but I think it's going to do great because it's a Spider-Man. And we know that all of the Spider-Man items have done extremely well in the past. I remember buying the commons. I had 4 Spider-Man common items, and I bought them for under 40 gems. And then we saw them peak at 1,400. So if you have a secret rare and it's a Marvel Mighty, it's going to do great. Now, what happens if they gamify the Marvel Mighties, which I think they are because of the file size of these items? They have a huge file size, which tells me that animation and interactive operability is probably built into those characters. So that being the case, I think the secret rare Marvel Mighty Spider-Man is going to be one to break some records. Now, there is an alternative. On that drop, I was praying that I would get the secret rare, and I didn't, but I got the Spider-Woman Marvel Mighty. Now, right now, if you look on the app, it's at like what, 23 gems? It was as low as 19 gems. So if you want to snag something that has huge potential, it's a Marvel Mighty #1, it's a Spider-Man woman #2, and it's dirt cheap right now. So if you don't have the 900 gems to fork out for the secret rare, I think that the next best bet would be Spider-Woman Marvel Mighty. And of course, that's not financial advice. Play at your own risk. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? I've got a list of things that came to mind just from talking about this. Now, the secret rare talk makes me think about the comics. 2 videos ago, I talked about the secret rare comics of the recent 5 comic books that came out, and I have bought one. I'm not going to tell you which one that I got, but I did make a purchase. It was around 120 gems, and there are still 3 of them right now that are selling for under 100 gems. Now, in the last market cycle peak, we know that there were several ultra rare comics that went above 1,000 gems. So what do you think is going to happen to these secret rare comics? Now, the 3 that I mentioned that are under $100, there's only about 75 of them on the market. That's not a lot on the supply. Now, surely we could have several other people that list their items because not everyone is going to list them. So that's not a guarantee that the supply stays that low. But we know that there's a lower number of the secret rare than any of the other items. So there's not going to be as many to pull from for people to list. And they'll probably get snapped up as quickly as they are listed. So I'm betting on the secret rares on the comics, and I'm going to plan on picking up 2 or 3 more as I can. I'd like to have 5 secret rare comics because I've never had one on a drop, and my goal is to have the 5 and wait until that next market cycle peak and then sell those on the market so that I can buy some of the golden moments or some of the bigger items that I know that I'd be able to sell once we're on Immutable X or OpenSea or what have you. So that's the secret rare. Now, what things are going to happen in the future that we know for sure are going to happen, even though we don't know the date, that could possibly set this whole thing on fire? Well, first and foremost, the thing that I am most excited about. What do you think that I'm most excited about? What would you guess? Well, if you said the web app, you guessed correctly. When this web app starts, I am going to go bonkers. Why? Because it's going to be a lot easier to get through the market, analyze prices for buying and selling and doing anything and everything that you want to do. And it crosses all platforms. The second big thing is that the company is not going to have to give up 30% to Apple and Android when they're buying gems, when customers are buying gems. So that's money back to the company. Now, if we end up getting to that point where the majority of items are being bought off of the web app and not the app, that's going to bolster the Ecomi company and allow them greater revenue to spend on, say, their developers or on new ideas or even the VeVeVerse, which is probably far out in the future. But I think we're going to see at least some small slice of the VeVeVerse within the year 2022. But the web app, when that happens, I think we're going to see a flood of new users and a flood of activity going on in the market. It's going to be great. Now, if you think the web app is going to be a big move, post in the comments and let me know. The next thing that I think that will set this thing on fire is not the money transfer license. No, I think it is OMI to NFT. Okay? If you can sell an item for OMI or sell it for gems and purchase OMI on the app, we're going to see a flood of activity that's going to happen in this community. I, for one, will be one of them because if I can leverage up and sell an item for 10x, 20x of the gems, that is going to be my way to add to my OMI bag. Right now, I have 1,500,000 and some odd thousand. I can't remember. Let me see if I can look on my iPhone. I've got my iPhone and my Android phone. I use both. The Android is my main one, But right now, I don't see it on here because I don't have the setting to turn on the wallet. I guess it's not on the, actually it's not on the iOS app. It's only on the Android app. Well, at any rate, I got 1.5 million OMI tokens and the price is going down. So this is a great opportunity to load up on the OMI bag. Now, if they turn this on before the OMI price goes up, oh man, it's all over. I'm going to be buying another million, at least 500,000, because I'll be able to leverage my money. If I can put $500 into the app and say even just 4x or 5x that, I'll be able to buy 1 million OMI for less than half of what I bought my original bag at 0.0027. That cost me $2,200. So if I can take $500, sell that for gems, put that into OMI, hey, it's a good day. And I think that a lot of people who are bag holders of OMI are going to be doing the same thing. So that's going to increase the activity on the app. Now, the last thing that I think is going to set this thing on fire is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. There are rumors that we're going to see something Star Wars related on May the 4th. Now, of course, there will be a massive gem squeeze that will happen. But as I said before, when we're out of the distribution phase, the market's going to rebound. We're going to have a V-shaped recovery and prices are going to come right back the same day. But a Star Wars drop is going to get major attention and bring on a lot of new users. And the timing of it is great because I think that we could be moving into that next phase, which would be the accumulation / consolidation phase sometime in the month of May. I think May and June is going to be good for the app because we're not going to be in this lull forever. It's going to turn around because things are already starting to flatten out. So those are the things that I think are going to set this game on fire, and it's going to be crazy. So as far as my strategy, I'm still operating within what I call strategy 2.0. And if you have been following me for several months or the past year, you know that I started into my strategy 2.0 sometime, I guess it was like last May or June. And that was after the market cycle peak that occurred in April of 2021 when I sold off $12,000 worth of items on eBay. A lot of people talk about no MTL and it's a walled garden and once you get in, you can't get out. Well, I'm more ingenuitive than that. And I converted a lot of my items to cash. I didn't even sell half of them. It was probably 1/3. So I turned around and bought a car. I got a used car. I paid off some bills. I took the family out for dinner, did some fun things, bought the kids some shoes, new shoes, because of what I did on eBay. Now, I'm very experienced on eBay and I've got like, oh man, thousands of positive ratings and I'm a trusted seller. So I'm able to sell NFTs on eBay. Not everyone can do that. But that's why you should stay ahead of the game and make your plans now and not wait until the last minute. Maybe you should get some experience on eBay and build up a reputation and set a goal to be a trusted seller like I am, so you can just have another avenue where you can convert these things to cash. So I was able to do that, and then I used a lot of that money to buy a lot more items. And after I think I sold probably 100 items, and then I bought 200 or 300 out of the profits of those items, and that's when I hit 500. And then since then, I've been in strategy 2.0, which is my accumulation phase where I'm stacking items. So I've been stacking ever since, and I am still doing that. I'm not going to go to the next phase until we have options for converting into cash, MTL or OMI to NFT and vice versa, or selling on Immutable X or OpenSea, things along those lines. But now is not the time to sell. Now is the time to hold strong. Is it a risk? Yes. Is it guaranteed that we're going to have another market cycle that goes into a parabolic phase? No. But the greatest reward comes from the greatest risk. If you wait until we know for sure that we're going to have another crazy market cycle peak, you're going to miss out on all the gains. Again, that's not financial advice, but those people who stick in when times are worst, just like in the stock market and in the cryptocurrency market, when you buy, when everyone else is panicking and selling, when there's blood in the streets, those are the folks that make the greatest gains because they're already set up way ahead of schedule for when the market peaks. That's what I plan on doing, and that's why I went all in and why I'm sitting on 1,047 items, I think I'm up to right now, which sounds ridiculous. I can't believe I have that many items. But I've gone all in and I'm holding. I'm not a whale by any means. I think the whales are the ones that have several thousand items, or the people that have a smaller number but of more expensive items, like the people that have tons of golden moments. You know, there's some folks that have like 10 Walt partner statues. I don't even have one of the partner statue. I do have some nice items. I think my best ones are like the Todd, my Mickey Sorcerer's hat, my C-3PO, no, R2-D2 actually is the one that I have, and several of the Batman black and white items. But there are a lot of people that have a lot more than what I have, but I'm setting myself up to win for the long run. So I'm going to study this market and add the items that everyone else has forgotten about and take some chances on things like these low-cost comics. I've been stacking comics like crazy. I'm going to continue the series about what I've been stacking because I only made it through like maybe 1/3 of my collection. So there will probably be 3 more videos to finish off what I'm stacking on the regular items, the collectibles. And then I need to do another video series to show you what I've been stacking on the comics. And then I'll do a short video to reveal to you which secret rare comic that I bought as a follow-up to that video on the 5 from the Captain America collection. So that is to come. Well, I would like you to do one thing for me, and that is to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day to enjoy this VeVe market discussion with me. Post your comments below and stay tuned. I will be back very soon with more information, and let me know what you would like for me to talk more about. This is Carlton, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. We'll see you.